Well, good morning, YouTubes. So, I am wearing my Ohio State hat, and I'm wearing Buckeye Red. And, Neil Armstrong was a great Ohioan. He was born and raised in a small town within a couple of hours' drive of my hometown. And there's a wonderful space museum dedicated to him in that small town, Wapakoneta, which I visited a number of times when I was growing up. It was really cool getting to see one of the Gemini capsules, as well as the actual suit that he wore when he was actually in the Apollo program. And the number of times I visited there as a kid and getting to meet up with my grandpa there. But he was a great Ohioan, born and raised out here in the corn of Ohio, and it got me thinking. How about a little challenge to you guys? I have got a list of great Ohioans that you may or may not have heard of, you may or may not have known of. But let's see how many you can get. I will post the answers in a future video. So, number 1. This individual was a female sharpshooter from around the 1800s. She also toured with Wild Bill Cody, Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. And she happens to be buried, I believe near Greenville, Ohio, if you happen to know where that is. Next one, this is practically going to give it away, and if you don't get this clue, well then you're sad. Got the clue? Next, name 3 presidents from Ohio. Clue number 1 for one of them, he's buried in Marion, Ohio. Number 2, this president also went on to be a Chief Supreme Court Justice. And number 3 of Ohio's presidents, this guy and a very famous cat have a common name. The next one is actually 2 people. They were actually a couple of bicycle mechanics, ironically enough, but they took their engineering know-how and they created something that, well, if they hadn't have created this a long time before Neil Armstrong took flight, Neil Armstrong wouldn't have been able to take flight. The next one is actually another group of individuals, well, more than one individual. They happen to be a country band that were all born here in Ohio. And what can I say? They're quite a bunch of rascals. Next individual is an athlete who is actually still alive and his career is actually going quite well. He was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but then some drama happened and I believe now he's in Florida. The next one is a fellow astronaut to Neil Armstrong. Actually, this guy got to fly into space before Neil Armstrong. He was the first American to orbit the Earth. And, to my knowledge, he was the only one of his colleagues of his generation of astronauts to fly in both the Mercury program and then later, much later in life, in the shuttle program. Do you know who this guy is? Then the next one is actually one of my fellow YouTubers. This female individual, actually only one of 3 females on this list, is a YouTuber. She's very active, and I believe she's actually employed by, I know she was active when she was a student at Ohio State University, in the Skeptical Student Alliance. Can you name who she is? Skeptical Student Alliance, and graduated from Ohio State. Actually, and to my knowledge, she currently still lives in Columbus, though I've never met her. Well, I met her once when she put together the Godless Gathering, the original Godless Gathering. Just saying. And the last but not least, if you guys don't get this one, I will hunt all of you down and slap you. The one, the only, the original big gay superhero, who was in the 2008 Pride edition of The Advocate, and could have been seen 2007 to 2008, running around Bowling Green State University. You know who this individual is. Name her. So, that is my list. I intend to put numbers by the numbers around me when I actually post this video, so you can do them numbered. Hopefully you can get a couple of them, and if you can't get any of them, what the hell are you, a Michigan fan? Rest in peace, Neil Armstrong, and peace out, YouTubes.